Welcome to the Creature Cast, the official Console Creatures podcast. I'm your host today, Steve Egvari, and alongside me, as always, my good pal Bobby. How the heck are you today?
I am feeling out of this world, my good man. We're just like I said before the show. We're at the tail of the summer. I have no idea how we got here, but I'm feeling good. We're honestly ramping up for a busy fall season, but I'm good. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. It feels, yeah, like you said, we're in video game season.
I don't even know. I don't think it ever stopped. It hasn't stopped.
But it feels like it just ramped up even more. I felt like there was a period like right after Summer Game Fest into like the beginning of August where I was like, you know what, I could go outside, I can touch some grass, I can go enjoy life. And then it hit me today where I was like, oh, I think there's like 4 games on my docket that I could be playing right now, and then more on the imminent horizon. But it's a good time to be alive.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Like there's just so many games. Even let's say 6 years ago, like it was dead from like mid-June till mid-September, and now it's like, well, fuck you, you're playing games all year now. So
all year.
So
and I mean, yeah, to kick things off, we're here to talk about one specific game that we both got the chance to preview ahead of time. That is the Outer Worlds 2. You would all know that by, clicking on this episode, but hopefully you're all excited to hear about the Outer Worlds 2. We got a chance to preview what I would say is about the first hour of the game, kicking off really like the opening hour. It wasn't like a vertical slice taking out of context. It felt to me like this was like the first hour incubated and kind of served up on a platter. And I mean, I know we're both big Obsidian Entertainment fans coming off the heels of Avowed, and a few weeks earlier we kind of talked about Grounded 2, which launched in early access. So it kind of makes sense that now we're steamrolling into this upcoming release of the Outer Worlds 2. But I'm excited to talk about this preview that we both got our hands on. Yeah.
I don't know what we're allowed to talk. Obviously, we can't give like final impressions, but like top level thoughts. I mean, I don't know if you want to go first, but from the hour that I played, how do you want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to spoil too much of the story, even though there really wasn't that much in terms of like the grander story that's being told here. But I think what we'll start out with is that the Outer Worlds 2, it starts out with this like beautiful pre-rendered cinematic kind of setting the stage, the tone of this. And if anyone out there has played the Outer Worlds, the original, you kind of understand where this game is in terms of its tone, its commentary. I mean, the first one was very unabashedly like anti-corporation, bigwig businesses taking a hold of an entire universe, and it kind of wore that on its sleeve. And I think the Outer Worlds 2 continues that trend. But the opening cinematic, I mean, Bobby, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but for me, it was, I think, one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen come out of the studio.
Yeah, honestly, I was blown away. I'm just trying to put it into words. Like, it's just like this. There's not an Obsidian game. Does not feel like Obsidian. I mean, when we know what they've done over the last 15 years, like this feels like it is Obsidian, but it isn't. I don't know. It just feels like they've escalated what they're doing. They're putting like the peak of what they've learned at this point. Like it's incredible. I don't know. I was blown away from not even just that, but everything else. From even the first hour, I was like, this is Obsidian.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just coming off a Vow. Like a Vow was, what we all know what a Vow was, but like this is what they're doing with the sequel. Like this is crazy. I don't know. That cutscene stuck with me. I'm probably gonna go back and redo it on the Steam Deck once we're done with this, because I mean I played on the Xbox, but like now I want to revisit it. Like it's just such a good kickoff for this game. I'm floored by it.
Yeah, it really did set the stage for what the game is, and I think it really does kind of showcase the use of Unreal Engine 5, which is a notable upgrade from the original Outer Worlds, which ran on UE4. But yeah, it was just really really
It,
stunning because yeah, in comparison to Avowed, which I think looked great, I think it had a great art style and everything. This feels like they're really trying to push the benchmark into like the AAA category, in my
yeah,
opinion.
like it feels like like we said, it's still early, but it feels like they've crossed that threshold. It is in a new caliber of games for Obsidian. I don't know. I don't think I've seen anything like this from them so far. It plays unlike anything I've seen. It looks like anything I've seen so far. I just want to know what's going to happen because it really starts off strong, and that little vertical slice is enough to just like keep me going till October. I'm
Mhm.
pumped. Like I'm pumped.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to kind of get into it from that cinematic that really kind of sets the stage, you're brought into, the character creation that we both got to play around with. And I mean, it's not an Obsidian game if you're not getting deep into like the throes of an RPG, creating your character, their backstory and stuff like that. I mean, I didn't really have all that much desire to spend upwards of 2 hours like I have in previous Obsidian games. But that being said, I played around with the sliders. I got to see some of the presets. Um,
They
it
look
is
good.
cool that they're yeah, they look, pretty well. I don't think that is like pushing the benchmark in terms of
No, no.
what I've seen before, but it looks pretty good for an Obsidian game. I thought it was like one of the cool things, you're dealing with space pirates and stuff like that in this universe. Is that you can give your character prosthetics. You can give them like a prosthetic arm on either side or legs. I thought that was like a
Yeah,
cool
that was
little
cool.
touch that they included in there. But then yeah, it really came to creating your character, their backstory, their skills and stuff like that. I'm very curious, like what you ended up picking, like what avenue you kind of went down.
Oh, I went fully professor. Like my guy was a professor. He was born on
Yeah,
Earth. Like he grew up there, and he was just looking for like the next big like discovery. So like that's why he set out. My that was my thing. I was like, well, he's he he's not there for money. He's there to learn stuff. Because like I mean, that's kind of how I'm always like. I always want to learn about things, so like, I'm always out exploring. And I love that profession was I could be a professor, so I stuck with it. And
that's
my
cool.
I don't know. There's just so many options. Like there was literally like at least a dozen backstories you could pick from, and like they all were pretty in depth of what your backstory is. Probably like the most out of all Obsidian's games. There's a lot of backstory for every choice you could make, and I'm like, I love that. It's great. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so I have the list of personal backgrounds up right now. You can choose from ex-convict, gambler, lawbringer, professor, renegade, and then roostabout. I went with the renegade because I was like, well, if I'm gonna
you always
be, this what's that?
you always got to go with the renegade. I mean, I was going to, but like
Exactly.
professor, like when do you ever get a professor?
That is pretty cool. I wanted to go either that, the XCon, or yeah, the Renegade. I ultimately went with the Renegade because I like just being like the kind of like the asshole in sci-fi games. It always goes back to Mass Effect with my Commander Shepard. He was always kind of just a dick to people outside of his crew and everything like that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna kind of run a character like that in this game, or at least the demo. And then you get to pick your skills. You get to pick two of them. This is where it's a laundry list of things that you can pick from,
Yeah,
but
there
they're
was a
all kind
lot.
of the standard ones that you expect. I ultimately went with like gunslinger and then whatever the speech one was, which opened up different dialogue options. But there are other ones that you can pick from, which help you pick locks or interact with computers better, like an engineer type.
Yeah,
At one point, I came across like a rundown, kind of like a mech during the level,
I know what you're
and
talking
it asked me, "Oh, you can have if you had these prerequisite skills assigned to your character, you could interact with this." And I don't know what would happen, but um, yeah, the Outer Worlds 2 really does set out to be like, okay, if this is your character, you're going to role play as this character, but you're going to be blocked off from interacting with other pieces of the world, whether it's opening up different locks or interacting with different characters and stuff like that. So it's an Obsidian game in that way. I mean, if you've played Outer Worlds 1 or even like New Vegas, you kind of know what you're walking into.
Yeah, like there were a lot of choices. I mean, I think I went with gunslinger, lockpick, and engineer just because like he's a professor. I wanted
Yeah.
to focus on those things. But like when I was going
Mhm.
to that robot, I noticed that like once I got to him, I was able to basically have that robot shut down all like the security for me. So once I got in, nothing would attack me. I turned it on. I guess they were guards, so whatever those guards were there. Like basically, it turned on them, and then it gave me a bunch of items. So that's what that robot
Oh,
did for
cool.
me. But yeah, I
Oh, that's
mean,
pretty cool. I like that.
it, and then like there was a choice where yeah, there was one I wanted to play, but not knowing it was just a vertical slice, like you said. There is that. I love that option of where you can pick where your character will always be on neutral ground with all the factions. So like I
That was a
probably
good one. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick that for the final game, but like I like that because like it's what was it? What game was it that I was playing? Starfield. I think it was Starfield. Like I screwed up a couple of the faction quests, and like I was like a
Yep.
target from them, and like I don't want it. I didn't want that. So like I like the fact that I can be neutral with everybody. There's probably benefits to being neutral with everybody, so I want to follow that path. But like there was a lot of versatility to how you're approaching the game, and like I was shocked at just the fact that you can go fully academic or you can do fully soldier, and you can pick your avenue and mix and match them. So if you want to be like my character, an academic with gun skill, with like a gunslinger skill, he can do that. So yeah,
Yeah.
there is a lot of versatility in the character builder, and I'm surprised it's just so adaptable to how you want to play.
And that's just it. I mean, like Obsidian has always had that kind of penchant to, really tailor this RPG experience and kind of put yourself into this character, create this character, and kind of live and breathe whoever you want to be. And I think this kind of reflects that. There were other ones, like melee and explosives, I believe. And yeah, I just kind of really enjoy going through and curating your character and making them feel like an authentic person rather than just like an archetype that you can create in other RPGs. But then yeah, essentially once you're done and you create your character, you're set off into the first mission of the game, which largely is a tutorial.
Yeah,
But before that, you're kind of this space captain of the, and I brought it up right here, of the Earth Directorate. You're an Earth Directorate agent set out
yeah,
and on this like infiltration mission. And yeah, like it largely just serves as the opening tutorial. Here you're given the chances to experience like the stealth-based mechanics,
yeah.
the combat, whether it's melee or gunplay, and yeah, you're just kind of infiltrating. And then you talk about your experiences there, but yeah, you can find ways to shut down all the security in this compound, or you can go in, head first and just kind of
Yeah.
shoot all the enemies and stuff like that. So, and it kind of give you like a scale of, the art style and the graphical fidelity of the game, largely, played out in what, half an hour for me, maybe even like 45 minutes. But overall, yeah, what were your experiences as you kind of like went through this first beat of the story?
Yeah, like it was pretty um it was brief. I thought there's going to be a lot more to the demo. So like when I messaged you saying, "Hey, like I a little bit need more time," but then credit that
Yeah,
like
yeah,
kicked me back. I was like, "Oh, okay." I thought there was going to be more to it because the
sure.
download was pretty big, and I was like, "Okay, well, at least I'm going to have like more to it." But like what we experienced was a little bit of everything. So you had a little bit of stealth,
Mhm.
you had a little bit of combat, you had a little bit of hacking. Everything was really um, it was a lot better than anything Obsidian's put out so far. Like I love how the stealth works. I like how the combat works. I like how different the melee feels in this game. I like how stealth is. I adore how the lockpicking works. I don't know if it's different for every character, but I noticed that lockpicking is automated now. I don't know if that was the same for you, or if it's like based on your skills. But like anything I found with a lockpick or like a vault automatically unlocked for me, and they would just give me whatever was in the vaults.
Yep. Yeah, that was the case for me as well, which I kind of liked. I mean, I don't need the, manual lock picking in every single game.
I was curious about that. I was just like, yeah, I don't know if it was because like I specialized. That's what I wanted, but like I figured maybe that was
Yeah.
something they wanted you to do by yourself. But it's a lot more streamlined. I do like that. Everything felt good. Like the movement, especially, was probably the most surprising for me. Just
Yes.
coming off of Outer Worlds, I'm trying to replay that now. I started that, going back to Avowed, and it feels very slick. Like just moving around,
Very.
sliding. My favorite thing to do is what was using the time dial. We can talk about the time dilation thing you
Yeah.
have with the wrist. I'm able to slow down time, slide to an enemy, sneak behind them, knock them out that way, and then just take whatever they have on their body and then move on. And
Mhm.
then another situation, I might be hounded by 4 or 5 guards because I got caught. I can slow down time, circle around them, and then just one shot them with my pistol. It was great. I was like, this is
Yep.
far and above what the Outer Worlds was, and like they are. Obsidian is doing such a great job at really improving on a sequel. Like this is probably gonna be like that situation with Bethesda. So this is like Outer Worlds was Fallout 3. This is New Vegas. Outer Worlds 2 is New Vegas.
Sure.
Like it feels so good. It's just such
It
a.
does.
It feels like nothing they've ever made before, and pair that with how good the game actually looks, and despite it being a 45-minute demo, it was so buttery smooth. It ran crisp on my console. Like I was just
Mhm.
like coming off Metal Gear Solid Delta. Like that game is on the same engine, but that game struggled on PlayStation 5 and PC and
Sure.
Xbox. So like seeing that, Obsidian's mastered Unreal Engine, and like it's so pretty. It's so put together. It's unbelievable. This is the same studio that's consistently just putting out back to back hits. Like they've gone nonstop over the last like 15 years of what they've been putting out, and it's just never been bad. It hasn't been bad yet.
No,
That's
I
like
totally agree, and the bar has been raised to such a degree this time, and you're
every
talking
time they
about the
put a game
movement,
out,
and
the
that
bar
was
raises.
yeah.
Every time it's like, well, it's here, but now we're gonna go here. And by the way, we've done all this, so now we're going to move it up here, and it's just that's I feel like the sign of a good studio. Like they're so well oiled. They know each other's strengths. Like these developers work together, and I'm sure there's some turmoil in how they want to deliver the game, but ultimately the right choice comes together, and like they pick the right thing to make this game work. And look what you're getting. You're
Mhm.
getting the Outer Worlds 2. And
Yeah, yeah. The first like instance when I started like popping into the level and I started moving around, it was a noticeable improvement over the Outer Worlds and even
yeah.
Avowed when I think back at it. But it was the moment where I discovered that you could slide. I was like, oh hell yeah! Like for a
And
game
it's
to
a good slide
incorporate
though,
like a
because like you can
sliding mechanic.
yeah, but you can
When
slide
you
and then
know
like
there's
you can
a
jump.
sliding mechanic in a game, and yeah, you can slide and jump and you can fire, that's when, like, to me, a first person shooter feels really good, is when they incorporate all of those mechanics into one.
Yeah, like and it's not just like you slide then jump, but like I was sliding, and then before my slide's done, I'm jumping out of the way to hit something, and like I'm able to like plan how I want to deal with these enemies, and it's just it feels better than anything I've seen in the previews. Like you can only gauge by looking up to a certain degree. Once you start playing it, then it's like, oh wow,
Mhm.
okay, this is really different than the Outer Worlds. And honestly, I feel like everything they've and this I keep saying this with Obsidian. Every game they've put out has taught them something, and it leads to their next game, and they've implemented everything they've learned in that next game, and it just keeps going. So their next game is going to have all these things they've learned in the Outer Worlds too, and it's going to play even better.
Yep. And I do wanna go back to that time dilation, mechanic in that, going back to things like Fallout with its VAT system. The shooting mechanics aren't perfect in Outer
No,
Worlds 2.
there's
It there
still
it's not, Destiny, it's not Call of Duty, it's still just a little bit of friction when aiming and, aiming down sights and stuff like that, but the time dilation system is so silky smooth because it just slows down time just enough that you can line up a headshot and, hit your marks, like the way that you want to, and it doesn't feel like as obtuse or as archaic as the VAT system would, because that just like completely slows down time. You go into like this different perspective and everything like that. Here you're still going through the gameplay, you're still feeling like you're moving and everything, and it just slows down time just enough, and it feels really really good. And shout out to Obsidian for improving on that mechanic since the Outer Worlds, because I know that they did that solely because the gameplay didn't really feel as fluid and as fast as they wanted it to, so they had to come up with something. But here it feels like a nice middle ground in that I didn't use the time dilation all that much. I just used it because I did want to set up some certain shots, but I felt perfectly okay just going in with my repeater rifle or my pistol and just kind of taking pop shots off in
Yeah.
real
You
time.
have that freedom, or like I ended up using it a lot just because I went stealth
Mhm.
route. So like I needed it because like that was the only way I could get by enemies without them seeing me. And there's a tutorial saying basically, if you really want to play stealth, you got to use it. So I discovered some knife hidden in a guy in a vent, like he was
Yeah.
stuff in
Yeah.
there. Okay, well I'll use that. And mine went fully stealth. I was like, this is great. Honestly, I wanted to see what I could do, but like it works. I feel like that's a tool for stealth runs. If you're going to be playing stealthily, you want this. You want to have that time dilation because it lets you overstep, cones of
Mhm.
vision, lets you bypass all that. It gives you that extra few seconds to get out of the sight. So like that's what I used it for.
Yeah,
And
I was a little disappointed in some of the stealth and that, again, we're only playing the opening hour and everything, but like walking up to an enemy with that knife and then doing the, quote unquote, the stealth kill, and essentially you're just like slashing them in the back and he falls down. I was like, I kind of wish there was like a backstab or like some sort
yeah,
of
it was weird.
animation that
It was
complemented
weird.
it. It just felt like very like I don't know. It didn't feel any different if, he knew I was there and I was swinging at him or anything like that. It just kind of felt like inconsequential.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was weird because like he gets into like this dishonored pose and like he's holding his knife like this
Yeah,
and it's like at least like stand up and stab him in the back like a regular person. Like
something. Yeah,
it was the only
yeah.
thing
It
I
kind
didn't.
of just felt like it was whatever.
But like that's the only thing I can really say I didn't really agree with. I was like everything else is good. The guns, yes, they might not hit as satisfying as like Destiny, but like playing with a sound system, oof, it sounds so good because I'm just sitting there
Yeah,
and I can hear it behind me because like the gun's echoing in this room, and you can hear it. Like everything is so crisp. I can hear people walking. I can hear people talking as they're patrolling, and it's like, okay, well, I know how far they are just by that. So there is some really great sound design in this game as well that really helps people who want to play like a stealth, and yeah, everything about this game is just shaping up to be probably one of my top games of the year. Like I'm pretty confident saying that by this so far. Like it will be two Obsidian games in basically my top five, and like that's unheard of. By
in a single year. Yeah, I know.
December, like
It's
that's crazy. Like start to finish, two of the biggest games are Obsidian. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I think one of the best things you can say about a demo is that by the time we got to the end of it, something happens,
Yeah,
and immediately I was like, "Oh, when do I get to play more?" That was the one thing where I was like, "Oh man, that is such a cool story beat. That's such a cool moment. I need to know what happens next." And then, of course, like you mentioned earlier, yeah, we got kicked back into the home screen. It was like, "Okay, demo's over." I was like, "Oh man, now I have
and
to
the
wait." That
And
kind of sucks.
the only reason I was like, "What the hell? Why is this happening?" Because like I thought it was just what happens is based on like my choices. Because I was really like snarky and I was being mean to this person, and I
Sure,
was saying all the wrong things, and I'm like, okay, well maybe it's just based on what I was saying, and that's why it kicks me back to the main screen. But
right.
man, the way it ends, I was like, no, I need to know what happens because like you are essentially thrown through the loop through something that you from somebody you really expected. So it's like, okay, well, I need to know more. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not even cautiously excited. I'm super excited for the Other Worlds 2. I feel like this is gonna be fall's big game. Like I and I'm not saying that hyperbolic. I know Hollow Knight Silksong is out. I feel like this is probably my top game. It's so good. that demo is just like the perfect slice. It is like that perfect slice of Prince Street pizza that you get after having a long night of drinking. That's what it is.
I don't like Prince Street pizza, but I know where you're going.
Okay. It's your favorite slice of branded pizza. Pick your favorite pizzeria. That's what it is.
It's Maker's Pizza. Exactly.
Maker's Pizza.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Is that like the demo gave me everything I needed to really understand exactly what Obsidian Entertainment's doing with this game. The tone is just right. The gameplay and upgrades to the gameplay feel great. And yeah, I was already excited being a fan of Obsidian Entertainment, but playing this now and kind of seeing exactly where the bar is being set and the threshold is with this team, I'm even more excited for this game to come out in literally 2 months from now, which is very, very exciting.
It's just, it blows my mind that month is just packed with so many good games, and this is probably going to take priority. I know what games are coming out, but this is probably the one that I'm already picking precedent over. It's just it's that coupling of Obsidian, RPG, all these cool weapons, these cool characters, all this narrative you can breeze through, and it's just like all these elements are like what I want. This is what I crave. This is what like my junk food is. It's just games like this. So I want it.
And I'm very hopeful in that, I liked Avowed. It's in my top 5 of the year and everything like that. But one of the things that I didn't really walk away too much with was the feeling of like impact of choices. And I'm really hoping that that's exactly what The Outer Worlds 2 will give me, is that, you're going through it. I can play, as a space pirate. I can play as like an asshole. I can play, all these different variables and really get into what the character is that I'm playing as. That's what I'm really hoping for, because one of the things that Obsidian always does is nail its story, and I kind of hope that we get to the levels of player impact and choices, and if you fuck up in hour 1, what does that butterfly effect look like in hour 15 and stuff like that. That's where I'm really very, very excited about seeing in The Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah, and like I really hope that this is something we're gonna see, but like it's like it's just too soon to tell. But like, I believe that we're gonna see something really cool. Like we're gonna see some ripples throughout the story, just based on how we play this game. And like I'm really excited to see how you play it, how I play it, and how everyone else plays.
Yes,
that ends up being right, because that's why I love the Valley. Everyone's story was a little bit different. Ended up being a little bit different. I love that. So more of that. Fully in. Like I'm in day one.
Oh yeah. Was there anything we didn't get a chance to talk about?
No, I mean, I wish we had more to talk about, to be honest with you.
Me too.
That demo was so short. Man, I'm pissed.
But I'm looking forward to exactly what you talked about, comparing our stories when the time comes, kind of talking about how our characters are different and stuff like that when the game fully releases later in October. But appreciate Xbox and Obsidian for letting us demo and preview the game. Very much looking forward to it coming out. I hope everyone that's listening in is as well.
Yep.
Yeah. But Bobby, if people wanted to connect with you online, where could they do so?
Yeah, consolecreatures.com. You can find me at bpashalitis on all social media. I'm there. Check out the website. Check out it and follow us on Bluesky.
Amazing. And for me, you can follow me across the internet at asvikvari, and we'll have way more video game discussions coming up. A lot of fun and exciting things just on the horizon that I can't wait to talk about on this show. But appreciate you all for tuning in. And until next time, we'll see ya. Bye.